Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Thursday night. It is that time again. It's our GT1 Championship here on Flux Motorsport TV. If it's your first time joining us, then you're in for a thriller this evening. It is the final round of our GT1 Championship this evening, and we are at the infamous Imola circuit here in sunny Bologna. It is today. But yeah, as they come through, we've seen Imola make quite a considerable jump there, just half a second behind Bazinga, so really knocking that down as Little God comes across the line, and Steve has just smashed that 135 barrier with the 134.979, putting in 0.3, just over 0.3 of a second behind Bazinga. But that looks like, I mean, clearly the eye is taken over there, and the car's just on a slow down. But I think he's absolutely sweating buckets in that. I think that was everything he'd got. So just a run down the order then as we come through our qualifying. Bazinga over in first spot, as we said. Steve there in second spot, just as he steals it off me. Immortalis coming in third spot. Blankfile in fourth. Merlin coming up in fifth. So Merlin getting a reasonable qualifying session yet again. Let's see whether that transposes into the race though. Snarling Bongo in sixth. Harry coming up in seventh. So a good start there from Harry for his first race out in the GT1s. Jelma coming in 8th spot. Jack Demenz is dropping all the way back down to 9th. Not a great qualifying position there for Jack. Toyota looks like it struggles around here. Destroyer then in 10th. Murphy in 11th spot. 12th for Booth Jumbo. Diggler in 13th. Survivor in 14th. And following up with Green Gaming in 15th spot. Right, just a couple of minutes now, so as the drivers get ready, and look at the sun beaming down on a glorious Imola circuit there. So as we get the lights down, and we are under starters orders, and the go. So Little God getting a decent start, but it does look like Bazinga's matched him all the way off the start as they come through the absolutely steam training. It looks like Blackfile's off in the background, and potentially that might have been Harry that's gone off there, as Blackfile gets pushed out by Immortalis. They're coming through the first chicane section. As we come through that section though, it's Little God that comes out in front. Bazinga just behind him, but he's right up his backside. Immortalis looks like he's getting chased and hounded down there by Blackfile just behind him. Snarling Bongo just behind that, so he's made a great move up there, and he looks like he's going to get the move done on Merlin there. Whether Merlin's managed to stick it around the outside though, he's not. He's shoved him just ever so slightly wide there. So Snarling Bongo's going to take that. He's going to get the run through that corner. And it looks like Little God is still out there in first place, so he's managed to hold Bazinga off. Now coming through the downhill section, like you said, it's going to be difficult through these downhill sections. Watching on the suspension, no spins so far, but Immortalis running wide there, so that is going to allow Blankfile to catch up just behind him. And Snarling Bongo, we can see there, he's managed to make the manoeuvre stick in front of Merlin. So we're just trying to run through down the order a little bit here. It was Harry actually. He wasn't involved in that spin. It looked like it was potentially Murphy that was involved in that spin there. So the silver livery of Murphy's car that was going round there from the first couple of incidents. Harry there managing to stick it in 7th place. Just behind him, Jelma and the other green and gold livery, Destroyer, sticking behind him. Jack managing to maintain 10th spot now as he runs wide himself there, picking up loads of dirt on the outside, just coming across the pit lane. As we're back on board with that train of Harry just behind him. So let's see what that did to Jack actually. It's slowed him down a little bit. It's allowed Dirt Diggler to catch up, and it was Booth Jumbo I believe that went round. Apologies. So getting confused there with the white livery or Blankfile and Booth Jumbo with that incident. Just coming through that chicane section. As we see a couple of cars going wide there, looks like Dirt Diggler and Destroyer's taking a couple of people out. It's going to be a severe incident there. And Snarling Bongo just coming up behind him. So 3rd, 4th and 5th not without pace in this session, and are all capable of taking this away from any of the drivers that make a mistake in front of them here. And it looks like Snarling Bongo's just let Merlin come back through on the inside on the same corner that he took him through on the lap previous. It looks like Merlin's got him coming into the next one, but he doesn't want to give it up. Snarling Bongo coming into that corner, the trailing car, and he's having to stick as the trailing car, so maintain more pace there coming into it, but couldn't get his nose in front. He's going to have to be careful. I mean, in dropping down a place or two, it's fine if you've got free track, that makes sense, but to get yourself involved in the battles is not necessarily what you want to do. All it takes is another driver to make a mistake, even if it's not you, and your race is ruined. That could potentially cost you the championship. Like I said, a 10 spot difference between the two drivers would actually see them switch in the championship here. So Immortalis trying to make a manoeuvre on the outside there, but Linga Vazinga having none of it. Blankfile now getting involved in the action. No, Blankfile's going to take a look up the inside of Immortalis, and he does make that stick. We are down to just about the halfway mark, just over, and we've got Little God in first, which I think was a bit of a surprise for me. In currently getting himself out there in front of our championship leader Linga Bazinga, but Linga Bazinga doing a good job here of holding Immortalis off for a battle for second place. In third spot, just behind these, we've got Blankfile, who's coming in about 11 seconds behind the leader, but 3 or 4 seconds behind the battle that's just going on in front. And behind that, unbeknownst to us, for the first 10 or 15 minutes of this race, we've caught 1 or 2 of the toe-to-toe action bits, where, especially where there was contact earlier. But yeah, Snarl and Bongo and Merlin really looking like they're the drivers that are potentially matched with a similar amount of ability and a similar amount of pace. Different driving styles, I would have said, but certainly drivers that look like they are around about the same skill level and really are putting some decent battles in this championship. Back over to our battle for third place. So Immortalis now making a challenge for Linga Bazinga, tries to make a look down the inside. I think that's pressure from Blankfile behind him. That I think you can see all the guys really trying to take advantage of the rubbers there into that final chicane. If anything, I'd say trying to take liberties there with the rubbers really. And Immortalis almost sideways into the penultimate corner there as he comes through. Is that Blankfile taking a pit? I believe that was it. That was Blankfile in the pits. It is. So Blankfile coming in early. I think that means that potentially Little God also might be coming in for a pit stop as well. I think that this might be a difference between softs and hards. I think we've gone for different strategies here. Blankfile clearly going for what looks like to be a halfway point pit stop change. So as we see Blankfile coming up to the back of Harry. Harry, we've not really mentioned Harry too much. So Harry, brand new driver out in the GT1s, not been with us all season. Currently sticking in a solid 6th place. So I thought it was Harry that was involved in the incident in lap 1, and it wasn't actually. It was Murphy that went round. But Harry there just you can see him just moving over, potentially trying to just show Blankfile a way through there, or certainly not getting his way. I don't think he took his foot out at any point, but it was certainly almost letting him through there. But he certainly wasn't on that corner. He was taking the most definite middle line, and that was potential blocking, especially if he comes back over. And that is Blankfile that's going to be asking a couple of questions there about was that one move, was it two? Certainly pushing Harry though, as he tries to go around the outside. Not going to make that work, so he drops him back behind him. Great battle here between these two. Blankfile really pushing. I think potentially Blankfile's got the speed here. A little bit of a flash there, so clearly Blankfile getting frustrated, trying to get past Harry. Harry making that car as big as he can, trying to take a middle line there, which he's fully entitled to do when he's in front. I mean, it's his spot position. And defending like that is absolutely fine and not a problem, but making 2 manoeuvres as you come into a section is a bit of a no-no. Always difficult to try and prove when that happens, and I think that was green gaming there. That was green gaming. I think he's just got out of the way for these two as they came through. Not always avoidable though, so Blankfile trying to make it stick on the outside, and that's contact from Harry. We knew that was going to happen eventually, and Harry sees that as not his fault, and away he goes. So I think that's going to be one for the stewards. Like I said, I don't think it's going to make too much difference here in terms of race pace, race finish or championship finish. But if he sees Merlin go past him there, I think that's going to be a steward's inquiry that's Blankfile is hopping mad in. And we've got Little God that has currently given us a masterclass of driving around this track. Hasn't really put a foot wrong here. Haven't really heard a whisper out of him. He's just gone about his job silently, clearly and professionally. and I think that's probably the best word for it today. He's given us a real professional show of what that panels can do. Just behind him, Linga Bazinga, probably been putting in one of the best defensive drives that I've seen at Flux Motorsport this season. Certainly fended off Immortalis for a good 15 to 20 minutes solid, which is difficult to do, but for anybody's standards. We always know it's much easier to follow a driver than it is to be the driver in front trying to hold him off. Just make sure that you're watching your mirrors and the road in front. Never an easy job. So one on two fronts being fought very well there from Linga Bazinga. Immortalis having a great show, to be fair. Didn't get a bad start. Kind of got blocked really as far as what he felt he was possibly capable of. Certainly not actively blocked, but certainly impeded from his potential lap times as he runs a little wide there. And just go back over to Blackfile and Harry, because they're starting to come back up together here. So Blackfile's closed that gap back up after the spin, so he's going to be desperate to try and get around Harry here. And not able to get it done coming into turn 17. Harry going a little bit wide there into turn 18, but not completely off track. And that's probably going to be enough for the panels to get into the draft. So I think maybe coming into turn 1, he's going to try and go for an inside line here. So he tries to look around the outside. Harry covers the inside, he won't let him go for it. Leaves room on the outside, and this time Blackfire gets it done. So same corner could have gone wrong again, but this time Blackfire getting a little bit better of the Mercedes. And getting a bit squirrely though this time, so Harry trying to stick it back. Great battle here from these two for 6th spot. But it looks like, I think that was a tyre on the outside of the track there. So 2 minutes left to go in our race. It looks like on lap 27, Little God is going to come through and probably take first place with where we're going. 140s now, so I think he's slowed right the way down. Could this be fuel saving? 1 minute 40 is a very slow lap from Little God with 2 minutes left. I mean, lap times are not that short. This is going to have to be 2 laps that he maintains this pace for. And there's only 10 seconds between himself and Linga Bazinga, so I think this is major fuel saving mode. I think he's run out of fuel.
I really hope it's not, but it could also be yeah.
He's fuel saving.
Yeah, you're right.
He's most definitely fuel saving. We'll probably see Linga Bazinga just coming up to that last corner. He is indeed just coming up through the last corner, so this could go anybody's way. I think Little God's played it wisely, and he's possibly got just enough left in the tank here. Little God is going to come across the line, I think, for the race win. And a little flash of the lights there as he comes across the line. And a bit of a wiggle. And a bit of a wiggle as well. So, well done for Little God. I don't think that's done it for the championship. I think that's allowed Linga Bazinga, who comes across with a wiggle and a flick of the lights for himself. I think that's allowed Linga Bazinga to take what really he will feel like should have been his championship all the way through the season. But what a great fight between himself and Little God as Immortalis comes across the line there with a flash of the lights and takes the 1, 2, 3. Snarling Bongo looks like potentially he's got that 4th spot, and he's snatched it away from both Jelma and Merlin, so he'll be happy with that position for 4th spot there. Speaking of Jelma in 5th spot. Blackfire, like we said, crawling all the way back up to 6th, so a bit of an early dart there into the pits. So we can come back out and grab 6 spots, so not a bad race all told. Jelma there, Totem Court for Merlin, as you know, coming up in 7th place. Harry in 8th spot, so not a bad show really at all for Harry. Dirk Diggler in 9th spot. Murphy coming up in 10th spot again. Decent lap times from Murphy, so he's going to be frustrated. 138s from Jack as well, just behind him for 10th and 11th spot. So both those guys are going to be frustrated with that race. And Green Gaming comes up in 12th spot. What a great finale to our championship. Well, certainly from me, it's been great to be out here and presenting it for this season. From me and McToasty tonight, it's been lovely. Thanks for having us, and we hope to see you a little bit later through the week for our rest of our finale races. But yeah, thanks very much from us tonight, and we'll see you next time.